I'd like to welcome everybody to our reorganization meeting, prayer by Pastor Thomas. Afterwards with the pledge of allegiance. All rise. Let us pray. Lord, we come here tonight facing a new year. Being humans, sometimes we face a year with worries, concerns, doubts about the future. We pray that our doubts and our fears be replaced by hope and anticipation of opportunities. We ask for a spirit of integrity, truth, justice, compassion, fairness. We ask this on everyone gathered here, and we ask that you unite us as we move forward as a community into the future. Amen.
Amen. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Again?
Oh, I'm sorry. We like to
Tree? Chair. No, Judy's got me a
vote
seat, I think.
for newly elected officials by the Honorable Juan Horace Davis from Delaware County District Court, 31-120. That's going to be Chris Sprague.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
Happy New Year to each and every one of you and the families and the homes that you represent. It is my pleasure as an elected official, magisterial district judge Wilder Horace Davis of the city of Chester, that I'm able to perform these duties for you this evening. If you would be so kind, this is a very memorial moment. If you would be so kind as to please put your cell phones at least on vibrate or silent. It's fine to leave them on. If you want to take photos, I'm sure everyone here is welcome. Chris, would you place one hand on the book and hold the other? Raise the other and repeat after me. I say your name.
Chris Sprague,
Do solemnly
do solemnly
affirm
affirm
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey, and defend
obey, and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the Commonwealth,
of the Commonwealth,
that I will discharge the duties
that I will discharge the duties
of my office
of my office
with fidelity,
with fidelity,
integrity,
integrity,
and honesty.
and honesty.
Sir, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Bobby Uzi. Chris.
Place one hand on the Bible and raise the other and repeat after me. I
I,
state your name for the record.
Rob Yanezi,
Do solemnly
do solemnly
affirm
affirm
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey, and defend
obey, and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the Commonwealth,
of the Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge my duties
and that I will discharge my duties
with fidelity,
with fidelity,
honesty,
honesty,
and integrity.
and integrity.
Congratulations. State your name for the record.
Glenn Wilson,
Do solemnly
do solemnly
affirm
affirm
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey, and defend
obey, and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the Commonwealth,
of the Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge my duties
and that I will discharge my duties
with fidelity,
integrity,
integrity, and honesty.
and honesty.
Sir, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
Roll call, Mr. Zen.
Mayor Reed,
Here.
Ms. Gross,
Here.
Ms. Reeves,
Here.
Mr. Signa,
Here.
Mr. Sprague,
Here.
Mr. Stewart,
Here.
Mr. Wilson,
Here.
Mr. Yancey.
He knows him.
I apologize.
Tax collector, you do this all the time.
Yeah. Okay, we have a nomination for council president.
Roger Massey for president of council.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Anybody else? All in favor of Robert
I
Massey?
make a motion to nominate Bill Stewart for council president.
Wow.
You gotta have a vote. You have a second for that?
I second.
Gotta have a motion, second for, one for, Robert Newsy and the other for Bill Stewart. Roll call vote, please.
So wait, just a quick FYI for us.
Yeah.
So for nominations for council president, you only need a nomination. One person just has to nominate, you don't have to second a nomination for council president. And then you have to go into, once you have your nominations, then you go into your elections, which would require a motion and a second. So it sounds like you have two nominations.
Okay.
So you would vote on the first nomination and then vote on the second.
So the first one would be Robert Newsy, right?
All in favor of Robert Newsy?
Aye.
No.
No.
Do we have a roll call vote?
Ms. Gross,
Aye.
Ms. Reeves,
Aye.
Mr. Signa,
Aye.
Mr. Sprague? No. Mr. Stewart?
No.
Mr. Wilson?
No.
Mr. Yanussi?
No.
The motion fails 4-3 for Mr. Yanussi to be council president.
All in favor for, Mr. Stewart as council president?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
No. No. Never.
Roll call vote?
Ms. Gross,
No. Absolutely not.
Ms. Reeves,
No.
Mr. Signa,
No.
Mr. Sprague? Aye. Mr. Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Yanussi?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-3.
Fidelity, integrity, and honesty.
Yeah.
Nomination for council vice president?
Nominate Rob Yanussi for vice president.
Nominate Karen Reeves.
Both again. Ready for that one?
Yes, the first one be.
Newsy. All in favor of Rob Newsy as council vice president?
Aye.
Aye.
Roll call vote?
Ms. Gross,
No.
Ms. Reeves,
No.
Mr. Signa,
No.
Mr. Sprague? Aye. Mr. Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Yanussi?
Aye.
Motion for Mr. Yanussi as vice president will be
Congratulations.
approved.
You have one nomination for council pro temp?
I nominate Chris Sprague for pro temp.
Actually, your official appointment, your appointments now. You're done there.
Okay,
Your nomination.
so he can take over.
Fidelity, integrity, and honesty. Fidelity, integrity, and honesty. What you got? Yep, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I can't believe Rob Newman didn't take it. That's all he wanted to do was, I want him to sit down.
Clark, do we have the appointment of the pro tem yet?
That's where we're at now.
Beth Bruce.
Beth Bruce.
Do you have any motion?
Need a motion, making a motion to make Beth Bruce pro temp.
I make a motion to make Chris Sprague the pro temp.
Roll call vote again,
So now you're in a point of appointment, so you need, so we need a second on Beth
I
Gross,
second
and then we're
it.
gonna
I
need a
second Beth
motion.
Bruce.
And then you need a second, if you have another motion, you need a second on,
I'll second Chris Strait.
so now you have two motions, we need to vote on.
Okay, I have a motion to appoint Beth Gross as the pro tem. Mr. Vicente, can I have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Gross?
Sure.
Ms. Reeves?
Yes.
Mr. Signa?
Yes.
Mr. Sprague? No. Mr. Stewart?
No.
Mr. Wilson?
No.
Mr. Yanussi?
No.
Motion for.
Motion's gonna fail 4-3. I also have a motion on the table to appoint Chris Sprague as the council pro tem. Mr. Vicente, can I have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Gross?
Sure. No, that don't matter, it doesn't.
Ms. Reeves?
No.
Mr. Signa?
No.
Mr. Sprague?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Yanussi?
Yes.
Motion passes, that's 5-2. Congratulations, Mr. Sprague. At this time, council, we will take motions for professional services. Can I have a motion for the appointment of the borough solicitor, please?
I make a motion to appoint the firm of Pressman and Doyle as our borough solicitor.
Do I have any other nominations for the solicitor?
Yeah, we're wondering about the vacancy.
You want to do the vacancy board chair?
Alright,
You
so
can check on the vacancy board chair because I don't know when that's term.
they expire every 2 years,
Oh, okay,
every reorganization meeting. they do this.
okay.
You have a motion and a second on the floor, you might as well.
Might as well take for the borough
Entertain it.
solicitor.
Yes.
I'd like to nominate Rudolph Clark LLC as our
I
firm.
have a question. Can I have a question here, please?
Sure, Mr. Mayor.
Where is our solicitor at tonight?
It's about to be appointed, hopefully.
Not to be appointed?
Hopefully, the solicitor will be appointed here in about 30 seconds, Mr.
I
Mayor.
mean, the one
Why
that we
didn't you
always
show up
have
then?
had.
Well, that's a good question. We don't have the answer to that.
Yes, we do, because
Yes, we
Mr.
do.
Stewart called and
Who
told
called her,
them
told her
they
not to
wanted
show up,
their
because she was
services.
going to be pre-appointed?
Can I have a-
Friday,
can I have a
on
second-
Friday.
Can I have a second on the,
Is that true?
I have a motion made
Yeah,
and
that is
seconded.
true, that is true. Told her not to come.
I just
Why-
got off the phone with her.
Why did you make this choice without?
Why
having
is
told
all the things
everyone?
behind
There's
Motion
seven
made and
people up
seconded
here.
for Rudolph Clark.
There's 7 people up here, not 4, or 3, or 2.
Mr. Vicente, do you want to take a roll call vote on the first appointment, which would be
You won't
the
answer enough.
firm of Pressman and Doyle?
Never does.
Ms. Gross?
Yes.
Fidelity.
Ms. Reeves?
Pressman and Doyle, yes.
Mr. Signa?
Yes.
Mr. Sprague? No. Mr. Stewart?
No.
Mr. Wilson?
No.
Mr. Yanussi?
No.
Motion fails
That's sad.
3-4. At this time, I got a motion on the table for the appointment of Rudolph Clark as the borough solicitor. Mr. Vicente, can I have a roll call vote,
That's a disgrace doing
please?
that behind everybody's back.
I know.
You know it. That's a disgrace.
Gross?
That's
Yep.
illegal,
Know
against the
nothing about
law.
him. Don't know anything about him.
Is Rudolph Clark even in the room?
Roll call, please.
Is there a Rudolph Clark in the room?
Yes, I'm from Rudolph.
Oh, and he
Okay,
told
so
you to come
already
here
knew
all
ahead
that.
of time that you were gonna be appointed?
We'll see what happens with the vote. and that's it.
You know that this is not done
Amazing.
behind everybody's back, correct?
That's amazing.
Ms. Gross?
No.
Like doing things behind people's back, that's illegal.
It isn't illegal, Al. Come on.
to reconcile up to date is because
You did the same thing.
I didn't do it.
They're voting for whoever,
Forgot.
Mr. Clark, Mr. Clark.
He forgot.
Excuse me?
I said you forgot.
I forgot what.
That's the way it was done when you guys were there.
Mr.
so.
Signa?
No, it wasn't.
And believe me,
Yeah,
I was there.
what was done was when you were in there ripping.
Yes.
Never mind.
Mr. Stewart?
Yeah, watch what you say. I'll
Yes.
sue you, it's on
Mr.
record.
Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Yanussi?
Yes.
The appointment of Rudolph Clark passes, what was it, 5-2?
No,
4-3.
I said no.
No, you're.
I said Pressman and Doyle.
She did say Pressman and Doyle.
I was the one who made the nomination. Sorry.
Council, I introduced to you Peter Amuso.
Partner with Rudolph Clark. I have a lot of experience in municipal law, and I look forward to working with everybody. Thank you.
Council, at this time, I'll entertain a motion for the labor relations solicitor.
Make a motion to nominate McNichol, Byrne, and Matlowski, labor relations solicitor.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Reeves and a second by Councilman Signa. Is there any other nominations?
The nomination was for.
Byrne, McNichol, and Matalowski.
I'll second that.
I already have a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Council, at this time, I'll entertain a motion for the solicitor for the planning commission.
Make a motion to nominate, Pressman and Doyle.
Second.
I have a motion made and seconded for Pressman Doyle. Are there any other nominations at this time? Not hearing any. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Council, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to appoint a solicitor for the zoning hearing board.
John F. Riley.
I have a motion for John F. X. Riley. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion from Ms. Gross, second from Ms. Reeves. Is there any other nominations? Not hearing any other nominations. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to appoint a solicitor for the Civil Service Commission. May I have a motion?
I make a motion that we appoint John F. X. Riley.
A second.
I have a motion I'll recognize from Mr. Wilson to appoint John F. X. Riley, and a second from Mr. Yanussi. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Council, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to appoint the borough engineer.
Make a motion to appoint Lisa Catania Engineering as our borough engineer.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Do I have any other nominations? Not hearing any. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to appoint the building code official.
Make a motion to appoint John Lyman and Evan Hodgepodge for
Mike Fuseni for
health, Mike Buseni for health inspector.
second.
What's the motion we're asking for, building?
We're building code official. So we have a motion, I'm assuming it'll be for John Lyman.
And Evan Hodgepodge.
So who's making the motion for Evan? I mean, for John? Stan is for John.
John
Who's-
and Evan, and Mike is health inspector.
And who's got the second? Ms.
Second.
Gross? Do I have any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Barry Isett and Associates for building code official.
Do I have a second on Barry Isaac?
I'll second that.
Mr. Vicente, can I have a roll call vote on the first nomination, which would be for John Lyman as the BCO, with Mike Buseni as the health inspector and Evan Hoshback for plumbing?
Ms. Gross?
For John, Evan, yes. Mike.
Ms. Reeves?
John Lyman for building code official, Evan Hodgepodge for plumbing, and Mike Fuseni for health inspector.
Yes.
Yep.
Mr. Signa?
Yes, John Yes, John Lyman for building, Evan Hoshwash for plumbing, and Mike Pizzetti for health.
Yes. Mr. Sprague? No. Mr. Stewart?
No.
Mr. Wilson?
Mr. Stewart, don't you have to abstain on that?
Wait a minute,
Since you
one
got
second.
litigation against you,
You
against
got
them?
citations
Mr.
against you, I don't know how you can vote. Mr.
I don't know how you
Yeah.
can vote when you have all these violations of your property in the borough of Eddystone. You've
That's,
got
that's,
one, two,
that's
three,
corruption
four.
right there. You can't
You
vote,
can't vote.
kick somebody out that got citations
Just
against
like
you
you
without going
called
to court.
her, you can't do this.
Retaliation.
It's not
That's what
retaliation.
that is.
This-
If you remember, he abstained on the votes before because
Yeah.
he was a
Yes,
business owner.
because,
and
So
the-
yeah,
now
he had a
you
personal
need to abstain
issue
on
with
this
Mr.
one.
with Mr.
Right.
So there's no requirement to abstain unless you're gonna financially
Retaliation.
benefit from.
Yes, he is gonna financially benefit
is gonna
because he can turn around and not
financially
pay the fines.
It has to do more with contracts going to Mr. Stewart's business or some member of his family, so there's no legal reason for Mr.
The
Stewart to
citations are
abstain.
against Mr. Stewart's business.
I understand that, but this is not gonna financially impact him.
Oh, and media as well?
Sure it does. If you close down a business, it financially.
Should abstain a second time.
Oh, wow.
It's unsafe.
Rob and Chris, do not follow behind him.
They already did.
They already did. Ellie.
It's over.
They already did.
They already did.
Let it be the last.
Mr. Wilson, you vote for,
I vote aye for Barry Isaac.
Retaliation.
Aye for Barry Isaac.
He had the opportunity to be president.
Want to be the president puppet master again?
all right, so 4-3 on the first motion. On the second motion, I have a motion on the floor which has been seconded to appoint Barry Islet and Associate as the building code official.
Do we have any, do we have a fee schedule or anything for these people that we can see before we,
They have any
yeah, any criteria?
resumes, anything?
We have nothing.
I have a representative from Barry Islet who would be more than happy to come up and explain their qualifications in front of Borough Council.
Good evening, my name is Matt McCluskey, I'm the building code official for Barry Izett and Associates. I'm also the mainline operations manager,
Where are you from, sir? I'm sorry.
Barry Izett and Associates.
Where are you located?
I am located in our mainline office, currently operating out of Phoenixville.
Westchester County?
Phoenixville section of Montgomery County.
Okay.
Oaks.
Montgomery County, so are you familiar with like, Delaware County code?
Most definitely.
CO code?
I am in, as a building code official, I was certified under the UCC.
Okay.
I am currently in Radnor Township, as well as 5 other municipalities as a manager. We have 39 building code officials. We have 7 master code professionals. We have 5 floodplain managers. We are a multidisciplinary engineering firm that does everything from municipal engineering, civil engineering. Only thing we actually don't touch are bridges with our engineering firm. But that's who we are. We will be here and present with our nice Toyota Priuses with the big label on the side. And we'll be here for all your needs, whatever you guys need. We answer phone calls, we answer emails, and if there are issues, everybody will be aware through our recording process.
Okay, how did you hear about the building code? Did Mr. Stewart reach out to you?
No, Mr. Stewart did not reach out to us. My boss, the Director of Code Services for Barry Izett, Matt Walter, received a phone call and from Mr. Glenn Wilson. And I followed up on the phone call. So, not that we're out there looking for things to do, like additional contracts, additional municipalities to serve. We hold no bars. One of the biggest things for me going to this company, coming from municipal life, is we do not pay to play at all. That's one of the biggest no-nos. I lost 5 contracts this year because we don't pay to play. And we will help out. We help out largely with municipal run things, like Conshohocken Food Bank. I personally run or take that up. We're huge with philanthropy within the municipalities that we serve.
Well, we were already told that, one of our council members up here was already running his mouth saying that come January, you won't need permits, that you won't need COs.
So-
We're already having issues, so how are these issues gonna be dealt with?
So we will work with your municipal staff, manager, mayor, and address those issues that are present. We will address any concerns that come before us. We follow the Pennsylvania Uniform Construction Code to a T. As a third party, it's black and white. There's no I say so code. There's no, hey, you need a permit to paint your house. Like, that's I say so code. We have to follow the state law to a T. And one of the biggest things for me coming to this company a year ago, we're all from the field, so we understand the processes. We understand how to work with the community, and we understand, because we were the contractors on the other side at some point in our lives. So we are very open. This evening I will give you my card. You can call me tomorrow, and I'll be here. With that said, in my mainline office, I have 7 people underneath me. So if we need somebody to look at a rental property, we need somebody to shoot down and look at a property maintenance complaint, it'll happen right then and there. And we will be available 24/7.
Do you know anything at all about Eddystone?
Eddystone? I actually do not know much. And I apologize for that. I'm a Montgomery County kid. I do have an inspector that lives in Aston that knows a lot more about you guys. I come from the fire side of the world. I was a career firefighter in Lower Marion Township. I know you guys have yellow fire trucks. You guys used to have a hovercraft with a big fan on it that we used for a warehouse fire to blow it out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know bits and pieces, and as a third-party consultant coming in, we dive in, completely dive in, and we're here to help you guys. All right, thank you guys very much.
Here like 20 hours a week or something? Or
Excuse me?
are you going to have somebody here a certain amount of hours a week?
We can have somebody here.
You want to know how much you're getting paid, like what the pay's gonna be, how the pay scale is,
That has not been finalized. Because and the reason we did not finalize it was because we're waiting for a vote tonight. It's just, so what has been discussed is 20 hours a week. So somebody here,
So complaining about having part-timers.
So you accepted a job without knowing what you're getting paid?
what's that?
You accepted a job without knowing what you're getting paid?
We need to work with the current fee schedule that is available and see what will work for you guys and work for us at the same time.
So you're not just taking the fee payment that was already installed, you're going to negotiate?
Only thing that was available to me was what was online from 2015, I believe, of a residential fee schedule that only had a residential fee for $25 for each 1,000.
No, I mean your fee.
so that's the change, there should be one.
Well, exactly, and that's some of the stuff that we do.
No,
We do
I mean the
consulting
fee
as
that
well.
you're getting paid.
What's that?
The fee that you're getting paid.
The fee that
what does
we're
it
getting
cost the
paid.
borough?
As of right now, what has been discussed is up to the chair.
So you're gonna accept to be paid whatever they decide?
Yes,
So they
100%.
decide to give you $1 out of $25, you're gonna accept that, right?
That's going to be kind of hard because the Prius takes a lot more gas than that. It's only 7 gallons, but it takes a lot more.
So then you have a number then in your head that you will only do this for.
Mr. Bolton, Ms. Hall, just as, you know, as
Ask
a
you a
point,
question
as a
then,
point
Mr.
of,
Stewart.
as a
How
point
can you
of
take a
clarity,
vote to hire somebody if you don't know what they're
as
gonna
a
be
point
paid?
of clarity, all professional appointments serve at the pleasure of Borough Council. There's going to be some negotiations that need to go on to establish, you know, some hourly
Well, I think
rates
the
and where the
residents
fee
have a right
schedules are.
to know what
And we
they're
will
going to
work
be paid.
with all of our professional appointments this evening to make sure that those fee schedules will fit within our budgetary constraints.
But you were
So-
mad that John only worked a
Was
few hours a week.
part-time.
I thought you said you were gonna get somebody 40 hours.
We needed someone full-time in here, remember?
Where are we at with the motion?
Mr.
I have a
Wilson,
motion
do you
and a
remember
second on the table. I have a motion and a
We're
second
getting
on the
20
table
hours?
for
Doesn't
Barry
make
Islett
sense.
as the BCO for the Borough of Eddystone.
Because of retaliation,
May I have
and
a
you
roll
guys
call
followed him.
vote, please?
Sad.
Screws?
There's your number one customer right there in the middle. Sorry.
Good job, Kelly. Property coverage, see it. It needs inspected and permits pulled on.
They're good men
And
and
occupancy certificate.
don't deserve this.
Start with him.
Sprague? Aye. Mr. Stewart?
Aye.
Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Ganuzzi?
Aye.
I've stayed
Motion
quiet for
passes.
a long time. Good job.
Good luck.
No, he actually worked for a computing firm apparently, I just, literally
Yeah,
just
exactly.
found out.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'm sorry.
You work for him?
No, no.
What?
I'll hang him.
Yeah.
Oh, hiring family, hiring friends.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Stewart worked for the new
No.
code enforcer?
He works for a competitor, actually.
Just to clarify the comment.
that-
that was
yeah,
just
'cause that's
made
what
is
got
that
out.
I do work for an engineering firm. The engineering firm that I work for is actually a competitor of Barry Islett.
Oh, okay. But you have an ECO, it doesn't mean that you can't keep your.
Well, I'll tell you, if someone wants someone to blame for this,
We're not looking to spread blame. We're looking to move on.
Yeah, somebody is
And
looking to spread blame.
At this time, council, I entertain a motion to appoint the IT support
It's
person.
really not. It's not, Mr. Councilman. You know me. I've been quiet for a long
I have a
time.
motion for Stevie G.
What he did's
I have a
not fair.
second for Stevie G. I'll recognize Councilwoman Reeves as making the motion. Councilwoman Signa to second it. All in favor for Stevie G to serve in the capacity of the ICT support person, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Council, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to appoint the auditor. I'm sorry. Council, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to appoint the financial director.
Make a motion to appoint the Sani LLC. Second.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Reeves and a second by Councilwoman Gross to appoint Joseph Vicente and Associates LLC as the financial director for the borough. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Council, at this time, I'll take a motion to appoint the auditor.
John Hanna.
I'll make a motion to make auditor John Hannon and Angus and Caswell.
Katowski.
just to clarify, I'll make a motion that Mingus Gadowski Company LLC be our auditor. Second.
I have a motion for Mr. Wilson, which I'll recognize. I'll second it for Mr. Signa for the appointment of Mingus and Gutowski as the auditor for the Borough of Eddystone. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Council, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to appoint the actuary for the police pension plan.
Make a motion to appoint Thomas J. Anderson, the actuary for the pension plan.
I second that.
Council, I have a motion on the table from Councilwoman Reeves for the appointment of Thomas J. Anderson and Associates, seconded by Mr. Wilson. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Council, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to appoint a borough manager.
Make a motion to appoint Joseph Vicente LLC as manager. Second.
I have a motion to appoint Joseph Vicente LLC as a manager from Ms. Reeves, a second from Ms. Gross. Is there any other motions for a borough manager?
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Dawn Jones as manager. Eddystone Borough.
Do we have any credentials from Dawn Jones?
I have the resume.
I have a motion on the table for Dawn Jones. Can I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion made and seconded for Dawn Jones. We'll take action on the first. nomination, which would be Mr. Vicente as the Borough Manager. Roll call, please.
Ms. Gross?
Mr. Pacini? Aye.
Ms. Reeves?
Mr. Pacini?
Mr. Signa? Mr. Pacente? Mr. Sprague? No. Mr. Stewart?
No.
Mr. Wilson?
No.
Mr. Yanuzy?
No.
Motion fails. 3 noes, or 4 noes to 3 yeas. Second motion on the table is to appoint Dawn Jones as the Borough Manager. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Gross?
No.
Ms. Reeves?
No.
Mr. Signa?
Nobody else.
Mr. Sprague?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Sure. If you would like to, I know that the solicitor had some concerns with making the appointment this evening without having an employment agreement, so.
So just to speak generally, I believe the council has its regular meeting next Monday.
Correct.
So we can work out any employment agreement with Ms. Jones.
Yeah, we'd like to see a resume or something. I mean, nothing against Dawn Jones. I know Dawn. There's nothing against Dawn. I would just like to see a resume.
And certainly the employment agreement as well that the council can vote on next Monday. And so the appointment of Don Jones will be subject to the drafting of the agreement by the solicitor and approval by council at its regular January.
Yeah, we know what the charge is. Just saying, but we don't know what the borough manager will be getting paid or.
Understood.
Mr. Wilson, can you please revise your motion to incorporate the comments of our solicitor?
Yeah.
Which would be to include the contingency on executing an employment agreement.
The motion is to appoint Dawn Jones as manager for the Borough of Eddystone contingent upon the execution of a mutually agreeable employment offer prepared by our solicitor and approved by council, which outlines duties, responsibilities, and performance expectations, along with salary and benefit compensation, understanding that Vicente Consulting will continue in said role until the employment agreement is executed, which would be by a vote of council.
Mr. Solicitor, is that
That's
acceptable
correct,
to you?
yes. And the idea is to have an agreement ready for council to vote on by next month.
So that'll be discussed in executive session, correct?
Correct,
Okay.
absolutely. You'll vote on it.
In an executive session, that nothing leaves executive session, correct?
Typically, no, nothing leaves executive session.
Exactly. Thank you. Got that?
So I have a motion on the table for Ms. Dawes. Can I have a second on the revised motion that Mr. Wilson made, which includes the employment agreement?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote, please, Mr. Vicente.
Ms. Gross?
You're voting for Dawn, Ms. Gross.
It's your
Well,
decision.
for the employment agreement as well. For the agreement, yeah.
But subject to an employment agreement.
Subject to employment agreement.
Set it up.
Ms. Gross, I need a yes or no on the appointment of Dawn Jones.
Ms. Reeves?
I'm abstaining because I want more information.
Is that a cause for abstaining?
It's not, Ms. Reeves. Really, abstaining is only if you're gonna get some kind of financial benefits. And you can't abstain from lack of information. You can vote yes or no. And again, with the understanding that the employment agreement will come before council next week in executive session, discuss it then and then vote on it in public.
With that being said, my answer would be no.
Mr. Signa? No. Mr. Sprague? Yes. Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Yanuzy?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-3. Did the judge skip out?
Yeah.
We do have Ms. Jones here. Mayor, if you'd like to swear her in as Borough Manager?
No, if I may, yeah, it's subject to the agreement, so certainly you've made the vote. I will now work with Ms. Jones. Where's Ms. Jones?
Nice try, Bill.
Where's Ms. Jones? Sorry.
Is there a Miss Jones out there?
Hey, Dawn.
Hi. So,
Dawn, no offense.
Ms. Jones,
That's taken.
we can talk afterwards and work out an agreement the next
Absolutely.
week, and then we'll vote on the council and maybe the rate for the judge to be ready.
No problem. Council, I'll take a motion for the appointment of the Borough Secretary.
Make a motion to appoint Tina Torres as Borough Secretary. Second. We knew this was coming.
I have a motion to appoint Tina Torres as Borough Secretary. Any other nominations?
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Dawn Jones as Secretary for the Borough of Eddystone, understanding that Tina Torres will continue in said role until the employment agreement is executed by council.
Have a second on that? I have a second on that as well. So first action would be for Tina Torres for the Borough Secretary.
Yes, we want to. Yes,
Wow,
we
you're a
want to.
piece of
Ms.
shit.
Gross,
Yes, for Tina.
Ms. Reeves,
Yes.
Mr. Signa,
Yes.
Ms. Sprague,
No, you guys.
Mr.
These are
Stewart.
people that grew up here,
No.
Yeah.
that lived here. They are rooted in this community. And you guys just wiped out their, you wiped them out.
I'm saying no. She has not been fired.
Mr. Yanuzi.
You should be.
You just did.
That's what you just did. That's what that was.
The motion on the table now for Dawn Jones as the Borough Secretary.
That's
Rose?
disgusting.
Never will be a stoner.
No.
Ms. Reeves,
No.
Mr. Signa,
No.
Mr. Sprague, Mr. Stewart,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mr. Yanuzi.
Aye.
4-3.
Just to be clear, Ms. Torres still is employed by the borough. Ms. Torres will still do the roles and responsibilities that she's currently doing. It is a procedural thing with the secretary and having the authority to enter into contracts. And because now that we have a borough manager, that responsibility goes to the borough manager. The vote that we took this evening for Dawn Jones is simply a procedural vote on what the responsibilities are currently. We have not had a borough manager in some time. We elevated Tina's responsibilities to be able to sign contracts. And what we're doing now is to shifting that responsibility to Ms. Jones. That is the action that's being taken this evening, just to be clear. Right to know officer, I'll entertain a motion for a right to know officer.
I make a motion to appoint Dawn Jones as right to know officer for the Borough of Eddystone, understanding that Consenti Consulting will continue in said role until the employment agreement is executed.
Yeah, you gotta correct that motion. It's gotta be, it can't be Consenti, so you can't have it, it's gotta be an individual. Mike was the.
So Mike Vicente.
Just so, Mike Vicente was the.
Sure. Make a motion to appoint Dawn Jones as right to know officer for the Borough of Eddystone, understanding that Mike Vicente will continue in said role until the employment agreement is executed.
I second that.
I have a motion made and seconded. Any other motions? Or any other nominations?
Yes, I'd like to make Mike the Senator.
Yeah.
The right to know officer.
Okay, Mark, which one you wanna do first?
Go with the first motion,
My first motion is to appoint Dawn Jones as the right to know officer.
Ms.
Roll
Gross?
call.
Ms. Gross?
No.
Ms. Reeves?
No.
Mr. Signa?
No.
Mr. Sprague?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Yanuzi.
Yes.
4-3.
Are there any other professional appointments that we need to make this evening?
You gotta jump back and do the.
Yeah, the-
board chair. I'm sorry, I'm taking it.
Does the vacancy board chair need to be sworn in?
The vacancy, support chair, it is one of the officers. So maybe we wanna put that off till next week and we get the judge back. Is that what
I think the mayor can.
Oh, sure.
Well, I'd like to make a motion, I don't see.
No, I'm not just here. I'm not from here.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint to the vacancy chair, the chair of the vacancy board, Mr. Eugene Wiley.
Second.
Make a motion to appoint Judy Focondo to the vacancy board.
I have a motion on the floor for Bob Wiley, which has been seconded. Eugene Wiley, I'm sorry, Mr. Wiley. Mr. Vicente, can you do a roll call, please?
That was nice of you to do their grants for them and highlight everything they're supposed to say, Bill.
Ms. Gross?
For Judy, yes.
No, we're on Eugene line.
No, sorry, Bob.
No, okay, Ms. Reeves?
No.
Mr. Signa?
No.
Mr. Sprague?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Uducci?
Yes.
4-3.
Any other professional appointments or any other appointments that need to be?
Mr. Mayor, to swear. Mr. Mayor, would you mind swearing in the vacancy? Board
You have
chair,
the form? You have the form? The form typed up?
the form typed up.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
should
you
she sign
don't
it?
have a copy, do you?
No, I don't.
Why don't we wait till next Monday when we have the judge back? If that's agreeable to council.
I'm not sure, I'd like to know what form it is.
It's the oath, it's the oath. Do you have a copy of the oath?
You have a copy
You
of
have
the
a copy of the
sign?
oath?
A blank copy?
Well, you
Sign.
just put your hand on the Bible and said you have a
Yeah, I
copy of
did.
the oath.
I did.
I have a blank copy of the oath.
There you
No,
go.
I'm not notarized.
There you go. That'll work.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Eugene. Bob. No, Eugene.
There's a difference, can you see?
Yeah, no.
Big slight difference.
It's the same name.
Same name.
I state your name.
He's always had
Duly sworn according to law.
unlike the rest of them.
Do hereby depose and state that I am. Oh, I'm sorry. According to the law, do hereby depose. State that I am. Registered elected. From the Borough of Eddystone. County of Delaware. And that I currently reside, and I have resided. Continuously in the borough. Continuously in the borough. Or in the ward. In case of ward office. For at least 1 year immediately prior. Immediately prior to my election in accordance. To my election in accordance. With section 801 and 901. On the Borough Code. Congratulations.
Council does have some action items that's on the agenda this evening. Is there any public comment before we move on to the action items? Yes, Ms. Hall.
I have a lot of residents that have been asking where they should put their Christmas trees out. Can anyone enlighten us on that?
We have a brand new council board. I'm sure it's gonna be one of the topics of the discussion in
It's
next
not
Monday's
something that was
meeting, and
planned
we would
out
be
ahead
able
of time?
to provide you some additional direction next Monday.
I thought it was something that would have been planned out since Christmas was before the.
Yeah. Well, who was responsible for that after Christmas?
I'm asking, I'm not saying there's not
At
a
this
date
time, I
set,
don't know
I'm
when to put
asking
the,
if there is a date.
at this time, I do not
if
know when
They
we'll put the
should put it out
Christmas
at any
trees out.
time, or they should wait for a specific date.
Normally we wait till after Little Christmas, which is.
Today.
Today.
Today, yeah, so normally
My dad.
they wait till after, and then something's set up.
So there's a specific date, they don't just put it out on regular trash.
I used to throw mine out regular trash.
That's what people are asking, so. Is that what they should do? Okay.
Next couple weeks. Or they'll leave it and go back and get it, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Council, at this time, I'll take action to consider engaging a consultant to do a review of our financial accounting procedures and practices.
I'd like to make a motion to engage Brinker Simpson and Company LLC to examine and analyze current borough accounting policies, procedures, and internal controls for costs not to exceed $6,000.
Have a motion, can I have a second? Motion made and seconded. Council, any questions or comments before I request to take action?
Why we're wasting money on that?
I think it's just a prudent thing to do with a new council board being seated this evening, a new borough manager coming in. It's just a prudent thing to make sure that our books are in order at this particular time. Any other questions? Not hearing any? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
Let's do a roll call vote, Mr. Vicente.
Ms. Gross?
No.
Ms. Reeves?
No.
Signa?
No.
Sprague? Aye. Stewart?
Aye.
Wilson?
Aye.
Newsy?
Every time.
Motion carries.
Every time. Spend more money.
Maybe we don't have that 26,
And we're gonna get 200,000 for the budget a couple
Yeah,
years ago.
yeah, we're gonna get the 200,000, put in the budget a couple years ago either, Mr. Wilson. Craig. Yes.
Council, at this time, is there any consideration on reopening the 2020 budget?
I'd like to make a motion to reopen the 2020 budget pursuant with section 1311 of the Pennsylvania Borough Code. That's one motion.
What's section 1311?
So it's,
Or is
section,
that just a highlighted piece that Bill gave me? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
so, if I may, section 1311 of the Borough Code talks about, during the month of January, following the municipal election like we had last year, the council of a borough can amend the budget and the levy and the tax rate to conform with its amended budget. So you have to provide a period of 10 days public inspection for the amended budget after notice, and you have to get all this, the amended budget has to be passed by the 15th day of February. So the motion to reopen the budget is in conformance with 1311, so that this new council can take a relook at the budget and make any changes that they see.
Right, but they can only make a change for 15%, correct? You cannot order 15% either way.
There's nothing in the law about a 15% limitation.
Could you double check on that, please?
Certainly.
Thank you.
So I have a motion, Mr. Wilson. Can I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Mr. Vicente, let's do a roll call vote.
Ms. Gross?
They wanna bring somebody in, they wanna reopen the budget. Now.
No. Ms. Reeves?
No.
Signa?
No.
Sprague? Aye. Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Newsy?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-3.
I have a question. You reopened the budget, so that means you gotta have a vote to pass this new budget, correct?
You are correct.
So that means the borough's gonna operate with no budget?
The first till 15th of February, no later than the 15th of February.
Okay, so does that mean if you're gonna operate with no budget, then how do you pay for services, trash removal, borough employees other than police department?
Two separate things.
It's not two separate things.
Same
It's all
thing,
part of the
part of
budget.
the budget.
All your normal services are paid as usual.
You do that without a budget.
Yes.
Perfectly appropriate under 1311.
Have any other motions about the budget?
I'd like to make a motion to freeze all salaries of borough employees at the November 1st, 2019 level pending finalization of the 2020 budget.
Does that include police officers?
At all employees.
You can't do that.
I have a motion to freeze all salaries at the November 1st, 2019 levels. Can I have a second, please?
Absolutely not.
May I have a second?
This is a procedural vote so that we can finalize the budget and.
That is correct. This is a procedural vote to finalize the budget.
So it has nothing to do with any long-term planning. All
It has
is
nothing to
we
do
vote
with any
on the
long-term planning at all. In fact, what the procedure would be is that during this month, while we reopen the budget, typically, we would do a salary resolution giving the employees a cost of living or greater raise. That cost of living or greater raise would be made retroactive back to the 1st of January. So Procedurally, what this is doing is just freezing all salaries, not giving any pay increases until we pass the reopened budget. And then after we pass the reopened budget, any monies owed to any employees would be paid back retroactively for their pay raises on the 1st of January.
Okay.
Question for you. And when you do pay it back, that would be with interest too?
No, sir, that would not be with interest, that would just be dollar
You
for
know, the
dollar.
police officers are all under contract, right?
Hey, police officers okay with that? You're all under contract.
You realize that,
So
right?
do I have a second?
Can that even be done with the officers?
I have a motion on the table to freeze all salaries with a
Can't
second.
get contracted. How does that work? Yeah.
May I have a roll call vote, Mr. Vicente?
Protocol.
Ms. Gross?
No.
Ms. Reeves?
No.
Mr. Siga? No. Sprague? Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Ganuzzi?
Aye.
So, I'm confused.
All these changes with the budget, I gotta ask, are we factoring EMS too? Because
Yes.
I don't wanna die, so just make sure.
That's one of the main reasons that we are reopening the budget.
Okay, and then how, like, I mean, I guess the next meeting, I guess, when everything gets situated, like, you'll have an idea of the guys and what they'll be paid in hours and.
They're not our employees. First it has to be determined whether they're our employees or not, and that's in litigation.
Yeah, so are we going to do anything with Andy? Talk to him about what is standing now?
Andy resigned.
So Andy resigned.
Andy's not his chief.
Andy
So
resigned.
there's nobody down there babysitting
Alright,
it now.
so what are we gonna, alright.
I'm sorry, what?
I'll wait till the next meeting.
Your comments again, Karen.
I'll wait till the next one.
Please of your son. Your son wasn't babysat down there. He's the only one that needs to be babysat down there.
Really?
I
don't think so.
Your
son had to be babysat. We move forward. I do believe that you received, the police pension plan actuarial cost study as of January 1st, 2020, which is otherwise known as the Act 205 evaluation, and that was to evaluate the additional costs to the pension plan associated with the police contract.
Nobody got it, it was emailed directly to us. We have one copy of the email, I can make copies, I didn't make copies.
Well, how did Mr. Stewart get a copy then?
Mr. Stewart requested a copy of it.
Going on your back for the last couple of weeks, you know, planning your, making sure everybody had their. Yeah, your minions. Yeah. Oh, look, the strings, can I check your strings?
It's a shame. I bet if everyone met together, there would probably be some cohesion.
Just give us a quick overview of that document.
Yeah, just. Document had a lot.
here.
Social services.
Sir, can you share that with us?
So the document, you guys authorized the document at the December meeting to do an Act 205 required study regarding two of the proposed changes to the police contract. And the actuary did the report as required. One was reduced the normal retirement age to 55, from 55 to 50. And then there was also 3 studies actually, and there was provided service increment of $100 per month for each year of service in the excess of 25 years, so a maximum of $500 per month. After 5 years of service in the excess of 25 years, and then moving the drop program from to 60 months. So the study was done from Breyer, who works for the actuary. So they broke out a couple scenarios regarding the drop program. The drop program was is pension, it's pretty much cost neutral towards the benefit. There's no effects towards the pension plan with the pension plan, with the cost. So it's cost neutral to the pension plan, you have a 44 drop. As far as the scenarios regarding the 55 to 50 increases and regarding the service increments, lowering the retirement age from 55 to 50 increases the plan's liability by $129,230. So there's an amortization schedule that goes into play. So it's a 10-year amortization schedule.
For the decrease in the retirement age, you're looking at about a $39,000 increase yearly for a 10-year amortization schedule. With the service increment, which would be scenario 2, you're looking at roughly about a $3,500 increase to the pension payment, to the MMO payment, which is your minimum municipal obligation. That's for 10-year period. So, starting in 2022, you're looking at roughly about a $43,000 increase into your MMO payment for 10 years because of the increments, because of the benefit. And then after your 10-year period, you'll drop. So after the 10 years, you're looking at roughly about $24,000 a year that will increase your MMOs. That is the report of the actuary. That's just facts. That's not nothing, you know, that I came up with. This came from Buyer and Barber Company. You guys can, we can make copies, but it's actually page 4, section 2 is what you really want to look at. That's what breaks it down. There's two different scenarios. But that's just the facts. That's what you asked for. That's what's required of you to do per the Act 205 requirements, and that's what comes from the actuary's office. So that's what
This actually won't affect anything for.
Till 2022.
Correct.
But then it's gonna affect you for years.
10 years.
10 years, and then after the amortization schedule runs out, you'll be affected still, but it'll just be lower amounts.
Okay, what are we paying now? We have 7 police officers that are retired. 2 of them are on actual retirement at 50%. The rest of them are getting 70% tax-free, except for the exception of one that's only getting 25%.
Your MMO payment for 2019 was $263,000 and some change. That was your MMO payment this year, the first last year. And then off the top of my head, I don't know what you got. I forget what you guys approved for 2020 in the September council meeting.
Isn't that contractual between you and the police?
What?
Is that contractual between you and the police?
What's contractual?
The retirement plan?
The MMO?
Yes.
The police pension? It's a police pension.
So that I can understand the police contract, it's, and I'm assuming, Ms. Reeves, did you lead the negotiation for the police contract?
No, I did not.
Who was the
Ms.
lead?
Buckus and Mr. Signa.
Okay, well, it wouldn't be fair for me to ask Ms. Buckus in her capacity, but Mr. Signa. There's, from what I understand, there was 2 major changes to the pension portion of the contract, correct? The first change was to institute a drop program. And then the second change was to reduce the retirement age from 55 to 50, and reduce the service from 25 years to 20 years.
I think all these questions have been you have asked and asked and asked.
But I'm not getting any answers.
Well, here's your answer. There's a copy back there you can go get. I'm tired of this. This is every time, Bill. If it don't, you know what was in there. You read it over there. So I don't know what you're after. We did the right thing, and you never showed up for a meeting. You don't do anything, but you sit here and badger, and then bring now. Well, the posse we got to face.
Well, I'd like to say that we did the right thing. However, what advantage did the drop program bring to any of the officers that are currently on the force?
He explained it.
It didn't.
The longer they work.
It didn't.
Mr.
The drop program
Bolton
didn't bring
explained
anything.
it to you. Kelly explained it to you. I'm not going to. I just want you to know one thing. I did the right thing. I can sleep at night, and I'm done. I'm tired of being badgered by him. He doesn't come to meetings. All he does is look for ways to pull you apart. That's all he does, just like he did tonight. And I had more faith in a few people, but now it's not even good anymore.
Well, I'd like to ask a question. I'd like to ask, when you did these negotiations, who was present at the negotiations?
I'm not answering any more questions. I just got done telling you. I'm done with it. The contract is signed, sealed, delivered. I don't want to hear no more.
Was the borough labor attorney present at those
not answering.
negotiations?
Did
No.
anybody hear me?
Was the actuary who oversees the police pension present at the
Yes, we don't need to have.
Can you hear me back there?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
We don't need to have the actual.
Can you,
Alice
You
also.
see, I'm not talking to my husband.
no, I'm asking a
I'm not
question.
answering nothing. I'm done. I told you that.
Are you aware that the police are being, having their pension mishandled? Are you aware that the police pension is funded at 62% and it should be funded at 90% or better?
Where did you get these figures?
These
From the Auditor
pictures
General.
from the Auditor General to a letter that went to all members of
He was in
council.
charge. What was he doing then?
That was on 2017.
Yeah, there you go.
2015.
Mr. Solicitor, you know, before we go too far off the subject is,
And then you went and put a Republican in charge of your council. Shame on you. Should they all work together? Shouldn't they all work together?
Yeah, they tried.
No, they're
Mr.
not.
Solicitor.
You're not. Everybody up there, this side of the
They
table,
wanted
that
to
side. No.
get
We should work together.
They went Robin. That's
Mr.
not
Solicitor.
them. That's a
can
Democrat.
you
That's
provide
who
an
they nominated.
So what?
explanation
Let them work together.
of
They're not.
See,
That's
listen,
the
they
problem.
don't-
when
the one with
the
one tongue?
Borough Council
That's
enters into a negotiation with the police department, and that negotiation includes changes to the pension plan, what
Yeah, I do.
responsibility by Borough Code does the council have in regards to the long-term health of that pension plan?
Sure, Mr. President. So there's something called Act 205 that the state has passed. And it's clear that prior to the adoption of anything that's gonna modify a benefit plan like a pension, you have to have an actuarial report. The actuarial report has to tell you the impact of the modification. It also has to tell you whether or not the whether the pension plan is actuarially sound.
Okay.
So, a couple of things. I mean, if you're telling me this is a contract that's already been approved, I mean, this report wasn't done before that, so that was a violation of Act 205. And this report, I mean, it talks about the retirement age being reduced to age 55, and I think we heard it might be 50, so I'm not sure it covers that. And this does not say that the actuarial plan is actuarially sound. So this report does not meet the requirements of Act 205, which you need to have before you approve any contract that modifies the benefit plan.
Now, I'd like to make a motion to reject the actuarial cost study that was received for the Eddystone because it doesn't meet the requirements of Act 205. That's my motion.
So I have a motion on the table to reject the report that we received from Buyer and Barber in cooperation with Thomas J. Anderson for the police pension. Have a second?
Rejected for the purpose of what?
Because it does not meet the requirements of Act 205 per the advice of our solicitor.
So what you're saying then is Thomas J. Anderson doesn't know what they're doing?
No, what I'm saying is that report does not meet the requirements of Act 205 in accordance with the state code.
And that report was not prepared by Thomas J. Anderson, who is the,
In cooperation with Thomas J. Anderson and Associates. See, at the bottom?
I have a motion, do I have a second?
What is the question, if I could, what is the purpose of, like, what is the,
Basically, the purpose of the 205 report,
I'm sorry, the purpose of rejecting the actuarial cost study?
because we're gonna push it back to Thomas J. Anderson and say that they have to do it again in accordance with Act 205.
Okay, in that case, I see.
So I have a motion made and seconded. Mr. Vicente, can I have a roll call vote, please, on rejecting the actuary report that was prepared by Buyer, Barber and Company in cooperation with Thomas J. Anderson?
Agreed.
Well, it actually doesn't make any sense. Buyer, Barber and Company, they've worked with Thomas J. Anderson, so you're gonna throw it back to Thomas J. Anderson.
I'm gonna throw it back to Thomas J. Anderson and tell Thomas J. Anderson to produce something that meets the Act 205 requirement.
that is a motion.
So, Mr. Vicente, I'll have a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Reeves?
No.
Mr. Signa?
No.
Mr. Sprague?
Aye.
Mr. Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Newsy?
Aye.
4-2.
Should have been.
Yeah, she did that.
I don't know. Wait for that to come back.
Trump? Yeah. So where my hat? 2020. God bless you. Cheryl, is Beth back here? Tell Beth we're waiting for her. She's standing there.
So, Mr. Solicitor, here she comes.
She's back, we're waiting for your vote.
So we're waiting on Beth's vote for the rejection of the 205 report. Mr. Vicente. Do we have a recorded vote for the rejection of the 205, or are we waiting on Ms. Gross? 4-2?
Yeah, make her change it to 4-3.
Beth, are you a no?
No.
So that's 4-3. Mr. Solicitor, can you give us the procedure that the borough needs to follow? You know, and to bring you up to speed, there was a contract that was executed with the FOP that includes pension changes. The date of that executed contract, I believe, was the 20th of November. However, a vote in front of council did not occur until the 9th of December. And at the meeting of the 9th of December, council was placed on notice by our borough manager that we were not complying with the Act 205 requirement of having that pension evaluated prior to ratification of the contract. Am I correct in?
Yeah, you have to have this report before you can vote on the contract. So the December 9th vote would be void. I recommend to void that vote.
That's not what we were told by our solicitor.
Okay, wow. The law is clear that prior to the adoption of any benefit plan modification, you're telling me this contract modified the benefit plan, you have to have this actuarial report, and it's state statute. So it's from the negotiating process. So I would recommend that you vote to void that December 9th vote, and then you'll have to re-vote on the contract, really, once you have this, the 205.
Well, I don't think that's right, because the people that voted are not here, no longer here.
For the union, ask a question?
Sure.
Regardless of Act 205, if the contract was executed before there was a vote of council to approve that, that's technically not legal either.
Well,
correct?
true, it wasn't certainly not binding on the borough of Item 20. It has to be approved by council, correct?
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
So I'm understanding that you're making a recommendation to this board to void council's vote of December 9th on the basis that
Yeah.
205 report wasn't complete.
Right, you are in compliance with state statute, Act 205. Specifically, it's 53 Pennsylvania section 895.3. You were not in compliance, so you should void that vote.
Council Peg? Call for a motion?
Motion, the Board Council's vote on December 9th, 2019 to approve the contract with the Eddystone PD FOP Lodge 27 for failure to comply with Act 205 requirements.
I have a motion, do I have a second? I have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
No.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Gross?
No.
Ms. Reeves?
No.
Mr. Signa?
No.
Mr. Sprague?
Aye.
Mr. Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Unity?
Aye.
4-3.
Aren't you opening yourself up for litigation from the FOP?
Yes, they are, yes, they are, yes, they are, Terry. Yes, they are, yes, they are.
I can only speak for myself. I don't have a law degree. Our solicitor does. I asked the question. I'm acting on the advice of the only lawyer in the room.
Contract signed, like, it's sort of just-
If it was signed illegally,
Well, you were
Who
told
would,
by your own attorney.
who would give you that information, Councilwoman Gross?
I would think the people that we're dealing with.
Who were you dealing with? Who was
I
your
wasn't
labor
dealing with
solicitor?
them. I'm just saying, if that information was given to us.
Well, we asked you whether the labor solicitor was involved in this negotiation, and you refused to answer.
The labor solicitor was involved.
They did meet with the labor solicitor.
Yeah, they did.
Who met with the labor solicitor?
Kelly and Stan.
Where's the labor solicitor present at the negotiation?
Kelly.
At one of the
We
meetings,
met with
correct?
them.
Yes. They also met with the FOP rep, who was Joe Pretty, and Joe contacted his man.
So now, we're in a kind of a precarious situation as a council table in the fact that we've rejected the actuary report that evaluated the pension modifications. We're throwing that back to Thomas J. Anderson and Associates to get clarification on what impacts the pension changes are going to make to our MMO. And we've also voided now the vote of December 9th, 2019. So therefore, at this time, we don't have a contract, correct, Mr. Solicitor?
Correct.
No, we got a lawsuit instead.
Right.
As a formality, do we need to make a motion to formally reject the contract, or?
It's up to council. It might make sense if you're opening the budget, then you don't have to do an Act 205 plan. If you still want to consider that contract, you still need the Act 205. So you can't approve the contract tonight because you don't have the Act 205.
Correct.
You could reject it.
Can I ask a question? What do you guys have against the police?
There's absolutely nothing against the police. The issue is,
We're trying to look out for the police pension here, is what we're trying to do.
Yeah, right.
Because you have not been funding the police pension for the last 8 years. That's
wasn't
why.
that under
Their
Bill's
pension
sword?
is liable to fail, and those guys are gonna have to
Why don't you just sit there and
Why
follow,
don't you
okay?
listen, why don't you
Because
listen
I
to
filed a
from the
report
Auditor General
against
when they
you to
audit your
police.
accounts?
For showing up at my house.
And you, and at what level is the
December
police
26th, I got
pension
pictures.
funded?
Got you on my camera. 10-15.
well,
No.
62%,
62%,
which is
You never come up
financially
that way,
distressed,
so-
and we're about $1.6 million behind market.
$1.6 million behind on the police pension payments now. Did anybody tell the people that?
did anyone tell the police that?
No. Did anybody tell the police that?
I'm sure the police are aware.
The police don't care that their
I
pension
said
is only
they're aware.
62% funded?
I said, I'm sure they're aware.
Do the young policemen care that the pension is 62% funded and that might not even be there for them when they retire?
Well, your young ones are laying the hours, so it doesn't pay into the pool.
Why were you not making payments on the
Mr.
pension?
Wilson, how long has it been that way?
It's been that way for a long
It's been
time,
that way. You
How
voted,
long?
for a very long time.
you voted for a budget
I know,
that
but how long?
didn't pay that.
So now all of a sudden, it's no good? It's
How
not
long is
good?
it
I
pension?
don't
We do not
understand.
have a drop in the
Thought it was no
contract.
more business as usual.
And now
Did
you
not have
Looks
drop,
like
we
you
did not
just
have a
turned back
reduction
time.
in the.
What
Drop
happens
is cost
when you
neutral.
drop the retirement age from 55 to 50?
You get them out before they get injured. They're more
Right.
likely to get
Yeah.
injured.
They're more likely to get injured.
And then there's more people drawing on the principal of the pension plan. It's like having a $10,000, balance on your credit card, and paying
Council,
$25
we
a
will
month.
take action at this time to reject the contract. I think it's probably most fair to the police officers to let them know that the contract is officially being rejected, so they can take proper action with their lodge and with their council. So I'll entertain a motion if council desires.
Make a
So
motion
we
to
are
reject
like
those-
fourth from the lowest paid in 47 municipalities.
Yeah,
Nobody-
right.
Just
can
want
I-
to throw that out there.
All right. Can I address that?
Sure.
Would it be okay? Nobody's saying there's going to be any kind of actual change, that we just legally can't accept the contract without the 205.
Okay, but I believe there'll be open to a lawsuit.
I'm not saying it is or it isn't, I'm saying
Serving.
that is not what we're discussing here, and nobody is saying that it has anything to do with salary. The issue is the pension fund is underfunded by $1.6 million, and we have to find a way to handle that.
For how many years?
I'm
For
sorry?
how many years has it been that way?
That has nothing to do with the vote we're taking right
It
now.
was certainly for the last 2 years, if you want to put it that way.
So everything's been going
I think it's been a lot longer than that.
What have you done to fend the pension since you
Sorry,
were?
I'm off.
Council, is it your pleasure to make a motion to reject the contract at this time?
I make a motion to reject what is now considered a proposed agreement between the Borough of Eddystone and Eddystone PD, FOP Lodge 7, FOP Lodge 27.
I second.
Got a motion made and seconded to reject the police contract. Mr. Vicente, can I have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Gross?
No.
Ms. Reeves?
No.
Mr. Signa? No. Mr. Sprague? Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Yanuzi?
Motion passes 4-3. Council, any other action items that need to be taken from?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I have a motion on the table to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
I already have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.